Ida is working today, so she couldn't come. Last night we got together and said, well, what should we share? And we have short time, but we went back because Ida and I had been attending that camp 2 years ago. And then we gave a report, 25 minutes report. So we went to the website, our church website, and we went to July 23rd, 2015, and there was the report that we gave, that Raul had filmed and Katsuyuki-san had put together. So we were very grateful. And also today I'll be speaking a short time, but if you are interested, in that report was a pretty full report about what Treasure of Heaven is and how it started and what we do there. So if you get inspired and you want to know more, then you can go there or you can ask me. Because today I was asked to speak a short time, so somebody should time me because I lose track of time. So I was given 10 minutes. So who is going to time me?
That's okay.
10 minutes. Okay?
Follow your heart. Follow your heart.
Well, you know, it doesn't work with Italians. It doesn't work so much, but then it goes on and on and on. But you were given this. All right. Actually, when I came back, I just wrote a little short report, and I sent some pictures. And then Ingrid said, "Oh, shall we print them out?" So they are not like so carefully chosen, but maybe we can use these pictures we have to sort of explain a little bit about shortly what Treasure of Heaven is. So, if you look at the first picture, up to the left, there is a young man that goes like that, see? That's Lisa's son. His name is Florence. He's 28. And actually he happens to be the reason why this whole thing started, because some 15 years ago there were blessed families that had children with so-called special needs, right? So they couldn't really attend.
Marco, you have to stop speaking.
What did I say? I must have said something wrong. I swore. Did I swear without realizing?
Because Katsuki-san is making a video of these also.
Okay.
And then we have to...
Oh, good boy.
Just a minute. It's very nice microphone. It says hi to you.
So these families got together as families, right? Because their children couldn't really attend normal workshops, and got together as families. And then since we are people that, you know, we like to have some spirituality in our life, they also read together and they prayed and sang. But that's how it started. Then every other year they would do that. The whole thing developed. To make a long story short, 3 years ago when I started working with them, second generation Europe also came to support. That was a big difference, and there were a little more people. We were about 40 people, 10 children with so-called special needs at that time also. And it was the first time, I think, that also it was in Camber, so with really the support of the church. And that's how it started, and it went on. Now, for example, Florence was kitchen staff. This is the kitchen staff. There was a Japanese sister, elder sister, good friend of Katsuyuki-san. So she said, please say hi to Katsuyuki-san. They met first in Japan and then in Germany. So she didn't say Katsuyuki-san. How is Mr. Kikuchi? So I said, Mr. Kikuchi is fine. So please say hi to Mr. Kikuchi. And Tomomi-san, great. We had fantastic food. Then we had a Korean sister, second gen. And then Florence. His parents are Austrian and Dutch. And this sister is actually Japanese, but she grew up in Italy. So this was the kitchen crew. And they did an amazing work. They really served us with wonderful food. They even had vegan food. They prepared vegan food for the vegans there. Next, we have the delegation from Northern Europe, and we have Nina from Sweden that now lives in England, and we have Ida, we have Heidi, the first one to the left is Jane Torreson's daughter, And this sister to the right, she has been every single workshop from the very beginning. Her name is Q. She's 33 and she lives in Holland. So she was a key person. Third picture, all the volunteers. So we had 10 blessed children with special needs. And then these volunteers that you see here basically attended them all the time. They were there to help them, to work with them, to do activities with them. Next is Felix, Nina's husband. This was the first time that I was on vacation with him. Great guy. And he was helping this young man here. We also had a family from New Zealand currently visiting Europe, and this is their child. And Felix supported this child, but also organized activities. Very giving. What a important part of the workshop. Next is a sister from Sweden, Lisbeth. How many of you know Lisbeth? So many of us. And Lisbeth is blessed with a German brother, and she's the mother of Sonia that you see if you skip one picture there. And we have an extra connection here because Sonia actually lives with somebody, a guest that we have here today. So if you want to know about Sonia. Next to Lisbeth, there is Andy Johnson and his son Sajin. He told me I can talk about him, and then I found out that actually while we were there, all the time he posted pictures and videos on Facebook. So usually we keep it really sort of discreet, but he put out things. The picture after Sonia, there is Lisa Jensen that started the Treasure of Heaven Providence, and also Jack Corley that came to say hi on the way back to New York to visit, to be there for the event last night. So that was something special also, that Jack Corley came to say hello. There was all the time with us David Anna, and that really took care of the parents. This is some artwork that now they are showing. The trees artwork that they are showing at Camberg. Next, there is the little workshop, art workshop that we had as activities that actually Nina and Ida took care of. So one way that we had to integrate some, this year we wanted to bring in a little more spirituality also for everybody. So we had this project, one project that I can mention, which is, we talked about prayer and praying on the fingers of our hand. How many minutes do I have?
Still 5 minutes.
5 minutes still, okay. So this is how the prayer goes. This is, we pray for the people that are closest to me, because praying is not so easy. And one will pray, what shall I pray? What is the priority? And yes, really giving space for Heavenly Father and being at peace. But also when we want to pray for something specific, and what are the priorities in our life, and people are our priorities, right? So we talked about that. So these are the people closest to me. So I should pray for, you know, my mom, my dad, my friends. These are the people that show me the way, right? The index finger. So for maybe my teacher, my counselor, my psychiatrist, and then this one are the people that the leaders, people that lead, the longest finger, right? And it's not a joke. People that lead need our prayers, because what people up there decide is actually goes down to everything. So they need wisdom from God. They need to do things because they love the people. They love God and love the people, not because they want money and power and be known around the world, right? And this finger is actually the weakest finger. They say for people, the one that play the piano. So it's for married people. Usually people that are married have the, right, is it the ring finger? And for maybe the ones that have most difficulties in life. So to always remember to pray for them. And this one is me, right? So this was the idea, and then we talked a little more in a simple way. And then the idea followed with the art project. So they put their hand, they drew it, and then each person had to think of who are these people and be creative with it. And these are just two pictures that I thought that were meaningful. Maybe now we don't see so well, but this actually was Felix. This is Felix project, and this one is the last one is actually the very last picture is one of the sisters that were there. We could say the treasure of heaven sister, meaning the sister that has some mental problems that drew this. So just as a general idea, so our children, volunteers took care of the children that have mental issues or special needs, and then the parents were in a group together, led by David Hanna, and some other people also were there to help out. Lisa was there, and basically it was a forum for them to be able to share what they go through, knowing that they are understood by parents that go through similar things. And it was just so important because the pressure is always on, all the time. And you need to be with the child with special needs all the time. And often there are huge issues also with the other children connected. So, and often these families really feel alone, and they feel misunderstood. So it was a great opportunity to just, in a protected environment, to feel among brothers and sisters and to have that time together. And David did a great job in really being there to help and nourish. So the big difference this year is that it was all led by Second Gen. We were there to help out. And the reason is that Lisa last year, last thing she told us at the end of the workshop was that she had cancer that had already spread in her body. She said it in a very serene way, I'm fighting this, but that's what's happening, so I need somebody else to take over. So the wonderful surprise for me this year is to see Lisa. There's a picture of her, right? Lisa lost weight, but she looks great. She's full of energy. She's positive. She's still battling her cancer. But even the way, their whole approach to the matters of life are really wonderful. How much time?
It's actually 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Can you give me one more minute?
Yeah.
Okay, one more minute. See, okay, 1 minute. 1 minute, I was asked to speak, but there was David Dunn and everything. The last thing, Marco gives service. Okay, so David insisted. So what I did in the beginning, right? So I said, okay, I take notes all through, and the highlights, and then and we wrap it up, remembering those things. And the whole thing for me was, we did Handoke together in the morning, reading, and they chose some wonderful readings for Handoke. Beautiful. I brought some with me. Really, Father's words about love and about understanding, about really cherishing, treasuring each moment, inspiring. So I had written all this down. Last minute, the person, anyway, what happened, I don't know. They pulled out a speech, right? Before Handoke, before I was supposed to share something. And the speech was for 1973, Father version general. You know, the Father can be this wonderful talks about true love for hours, but also when he was a general, he really spoke as a general, right? Go out and die type, and you'll be lonely and miserable, but fight it through, and no matter what, and that kind of speech. So I was thinking, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we are reading this, and I wanted to talk about love and understanding. So I go to Ben, and I told Ben, let's sing a song, and then a love song before to break, right? But then the last paragraph, there was Sejin. Sejin reads. Sejin is Andy Johnson's son. So the last paragraph, Sejin started reading. And there was Father finishing off with really strong words about you feel lonely and miserable and your lonely heart and in a lonely place and like really like that. Sejin starts reading. When they read often there was really this magic atmosphere because everybody was really quiet and see, then making some mistakes, very, very slowly reading. Imagine that, right? That was the scene. And then the first lonely came up, right? Lonely heart, and Sejin read lovely. And then it kept going, and even the lovely path of faith. So it was just so beautiful and so meaningful. Really, to me, it's really the key of everything. The key of everything to me is to really be receptacles of God's love. If we are what we are supposed to be, this container for God's love, everything becomes lovely, really, because it's so big and so beautiful. Then what happens in life happens. Some things are good, some things are not so good, but they don't really influence so much my life. It's no longer what happens out there, right, that makes a strong impact, that makes me happy or make me sad. Yes, it happens, okay, let's deal with it. But if instead of this lonely, we have this lovely, this love, and then we can handle, and then it just was so beautifully served because it was Sejin that transformed the whole thing in that moment. So that's my report. If you want to know more, go to the website or ask me, and that's all.